I don't even know who some of these artists are. Luke Combs, Back in the Saddle. Oh, that's the game. That's a song from Madden. Nah, that song is actually kind of dope. That's country, but like, nah, that song is dope. That's on Madden. That's on Madden. All right, Dracula, number 34. Whoever this is, Tame Impala. Don't. Yeah, bro. I don't even know who these people are. Yukon. Okay, Mariah Science is also another R&B artist. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So look, most of these are names that I've never even heard of. So let's see. Where does the first rap song doesn't come till number 43. And when I started looking, I was like, well, let's how do we compare that with like the current hip hop charts? Because obviously, so in mainstream music, we're not being featured, or we don't, and it's not even that we're not being featured. We don't have any artists that are making music that's reaching those heights, that's being listened to that much. But when I even look at the hip hop, it's a lot of artists that like you would think that are doing really well, and they might be doing well relative to hip hop, but like yeah, it's not relating or it's not translating to numbers. We talked about this over the last couple of years. I've had this podcast now for a couple of years, and we've talked about like the decline in numbers, and we kind of wait and we kind of hope for the mainstays, the big hitters to kind of carry the genre, but like the big hitters, they've either come and gone, like they drop stuff and it doesn't go that no, anywhere. There's another theory that we're gonna get into and watch maybe another video, but like there's something missing. There's something missing, and I think it's the quality of the rap music that typically is out. Even as big as NBA YoungBoy is, he's not he's not breaking through to the great masses of America when we talk about these charts, all right? So yeah, let me share another video though. Um, but yeah, these are artists that are crazy. One thing I learned too by looking at Billboard is when you click on the hip hop charts, right? One, it's hip hop and R&B, so they kind of put us all together anyway. But another thing that I noticed is that you need a subscription. So like they don't even want us to know what the numbers are. Like they'll share the big numbers, right? And you see it's a lot of Taylor Swift and a lot of other pop artists. I'm even going down. Yeah, so you see Safe for Cardi B is 57. Her peak was 26 though. And it's been on chart for 5 weeks. So I guess I mean, a couple weeks ago, there was some Cardi B on there. Tyler Creator's peak, Sugar on My Tongue, was only 41. Hell of a Night peak was 35. So yeah, we did have something else in there. Even NBA YoungBoy's peak has only been 43. Last week it was 44. He's been on the chart for 6 weeks. Cardi's been on the chart for 5 weeks, but she's had a big drop, right? From her peak at 26. Last week she was at 48. Now she's at 57. Rod Wave. I'm just looking at different names. I get Metro Boomin. G Herbo went legit. It's been on the charts for 14 weeks, but the peak is 73. Like it's staying at its peak. Kid Cudi, I didn't know Kid Cudi even dropped. Yeah, bro. This is sad, man. This is sad. This is sad. All right. Let's take another look at another video that talks about these charts. Let's take a look.
Well, there's been a lot of discourse about how there's not a single rap song in the top 40 on the Billboard Hot Charts since 1995, and that's for a multitude of reasons. Number one,
Longer than
well,
95.
they changed their rules so that way, songs that stay on the charts forever can no longer stay on the charts forever. Like Luther would still be on there, but that's kind of the big issue that I want to talk about. Luther would be the only rap song in the top 40. And the biggest argument I've seen about, why there isn't a top 40 song, from hip hop is because, well, none of the heavy hitters dropped. Drake didn't drop, Kendrick Lamar didn't drop, and that's not necessarily true. While yes, Drake didn't really drop a rap song this year, Future didn't drop, and Kendrick Lamar didn't drop. Guess who else did though? Travis Scott. Travis Scott would be the fourth big guy of the big four, not including Cole, which would make it the big five. And Travis Scott did drop. And while I think the hit on that tape is a little too much, the songs simply just didn't last. Another big mainstream artist that dropped this year was coordinated as a big mainstream artist that dropped this year, Playboy Cardi. Playboy Cardi didn't last on the charts at all. Like, Cardi fans will make you believe that album was way bigger and lasted way longer than what it actually did. In reality, it didn't even last as long as 5 months. And while I like a lot of the tracks off of there, we have to be honest. It didn't have the lasting power of a Whole Lot of Red. It didn't have the lasting power of Dilate. It didn't have the lasting power of Self-Titled. Simply because it wasn't really that much innovative or that much different than what everybody else was already doing in Opium and himself. It was really just a Whole Lot of Red Part 2 with just more rock grunge guitars. And Tyler Creator also dropped this year, but there isn't a single rap song that you could point to that was the most successful song off of Don't Tap the Glass. In fact, the most successful songs were I'll Take Care of You and Ring Ring. Which brings me to my final point. I ain't gonna lie, Benny the Butcher, I now see what you were saying. Because now it is definitely looking like, yeah, those who run hip hop are not us anymore. And it hasn't been us for a very long time, in fact. And while yes, I joke to say that does he not know his own fan base, out of this, out of that. The fact of the matter is, all the hot rap songs, all the hot hip hop songs are in the culture. We had Clips, we had Freddie Gibbs, we had J.I.D., we had so many fantastic rap albums. None of them have major commercial success, but all of them have been album of the year candidates. So we don't necessarily need the charts to prove to us that, hey, rap is dead. I've been saying that the labels are moving away from hip hop. But I will say, it is a testament that Youngboy is the highest charted rap song. So, hey, Youngboy, congrats, bro. Well, there's been a lot of
All right, he's a young boy. He didn't say nothing that was like that's like a hard disagree. Drake did drop, but he didn't drop a rap song really, I
It's
guess.
because the labels didn't spend any money. The labels didn't spend any money. That's where the number ones came from before. That's where the top 40 comes from. The label spending money. It's not about music being good or bad. It's because the labels didn't.
I also said though, yeah, and I commented on that one. I said, well, but the music is also bad, right? Like it's not, it's there is a problem. We do have a music quality problem as well. So we can't just kind of run and escape from that and just make it seem like, oh, it's just because the label didn't spend money. I think that has to do with it. There is another narrative is that this whole thing with Kendrick Lamar, and I guess yeah, in many ways, as time is going on, yeah, Kendrick, you felt like, oh man, maybe Drake lost the battle, but then he's gonna win the war. But if the war is over, like if you say the war is over today, like it's nothing gonna be to come from it. I guess Kendrick Lamar did win the war. And but a lot of people are saying that like all the whole smear campaign, the whole and I when I say smear campaign, the disses and like what you decided to call this guy in the disses is what is hurt has hurt like Drake's reputation. But like Drake was definitely he fed the algorithms, he fed the Billboard charts with hits, and not even hits of just of his own, but like the songs that he was featured on, the artists that would get big after they did music with Drake. So like maybe getting Drake out of here is was maybe it did have like unintended consequences. Um, Yeah, maybe it did have unintended consequences and we just kind of didn't see the bigger picture, but it just looks like I don't know, it does look like, there could be several different factors as to why hip hop is not on the charts. But I do think yeah, partly it is labels kind of getting away from it. I seen another clip that talked about how the label said that like there was labels that said that yeah they were going to be kind of gearing towards more R&B and more pop songs. So if you look at like Leon Thomas, I love Leon Thomas, and I don't want to say that he's like some type of plant or anything like that, or that he's only being he's only on top of the game right now because of some type of industry push, but it does seem that like he's getting some looks that some other artists aren't getting currently, and maybe he just makes some more palatable music. It is hard to market that drill stuff, man. It is hard to market and to scale for long periods of time some of the stuff what we would call mumble rap. I mean, the one guy's criticism, the one video of even Travis Scott, yeah, Travis Scott did drop. He didn't drop a album, he dropped Jack Boy's project. And yeah, that did not stand the test of time. There are rappers, there are rap songs, and albums that have come out that people like, but like it doesn't have that commercial success anymore. Maybe right now, maybe the fact that Taylor's album is out and like I said, all these different songs are like eating up the chart. Maybe that has to do with it. Like, because if first, just say her album has 20 tracks on it, if all 20 tracks are on the charts, that's yeah, I mean that's 20% of the whole chart dedicated to one artist, and that would kind of skew the numbers, and that would take probably some rappers off of there. But we'll see, man.